I need to get a new chair. Oh look, there's my cat. He's here. There she is. We're ranking cards today. If you haven't seen the first part, you don't have to, because you're seeing what I did in the first part here. In fact, let me just move myself. That's everything I did. And I feel like, before we get into the cards that were released in 2022, let's rearrange some of this. I'm thinking we move this one down to D, because it's just overused art, and I think it deserved that spot. And I'll explain that in a card that was released last year. And that's the only change I'm making right now. So yeah, let's get into the new cards. Here's all the new cards. I already put them in. And before we get started, I wanted to mention that the official Idea Factory websites are horrible at keeping track of their own cards. Like, this one's not even on the English site, but it's on the European site. This one was on neither. Like, they have a link that is just an archive of all their cards. It's not. They don't keep track of all of it. Like, this one was only on the European site. It's not on the English site. Or I guess I should say American site, huh? Regardless, this wasn't anywhere. This wasn't anywhere. This was fucking just missing. Anyway, now that I got out of the way, let's take a look at the new cards. Remember this? The first card we're going to be looking at is January's card. Now, if I can get the card out of the sleeve without actually damaging the card. Okay, here we go. So this is a peachy start from Neptunia, Excentra, and Kagura Ninja Wars. The lighting's not really helping, but I'll throw an image on screen so you guys can see it better. This one sucks because it is actually just a CG from the game. And also falls into the same line as the image doesn't fit the card, so they put terrible borders, and this one's not even hiding it. This one's like the worst of the worst. In fact, I'm going to put this one at the top of D. Shouldn't have done that. Yeah. This one is the worst of the worst so far. But then we have next card, which is February's card, CPU Candidate number 2. This one's super cute. It goes along with the Netgear card. This one goes right next to Netgear because they're just cute together. There's a theme going on here. Maybe I should move this like to the side a little bit like this. Yeah, that actually might help me a lot. A little bit. This one is a special card for Death End Request 2. I believe this was for the... This one might have been for the Switch release, specifically. So if you didn't have the Switch game, you weren't getting this card. It's nice art. It's just kind of stupid that they restricted it to the Switch release of Death End Request 2. Good art, though. I like the art on it. So I'm going to put this one... I actually think it's going to go to the top of B right now. I think it's better than the first Death End Request card. Mainly because I've seen the art before. It was like for merchandise. But it's still nice art. And this is just the steelbook art. And it doesn't fit the whole card. It has a border, but at least the border fits it. So I think it's the top of B right now. It's just a good card. A lot of the Death End Request cards are good. And then to round out the CPU candidates, we have CPU candidate number 3 and 4. This was March's card, number 29. Very, very cute. Goes along with the other ones. It's just a shame that because of the numbers, they actually don't fit together. In fact, Netgear is on a completely different page. They are still very cute, so they go here. And now B is 2 layers big. Might want to reorganize this later. And then we get to April's card. April 2022, card number 30, I believe is my favorite card of the whole bunch. Fool's Dimension, PC release win. What does it say? Battle Dimension Neptunia. This is, it's an April Fool's joke. If you don't know the joke on this, is that the art style is in the art style that the international branch regularly uses to promote like sales that they're having or something. Like, they don't use them as much as they used to back then. Like when the Twitter was like brand new, they used this art a lot. It was like a joke art, and they put it on a card, which I think, as an April Fool's joke, this is great. This is awesome, but it's also a slap in the face. But I do believe it is the best card. The best of the best. And then we have another April card here. I believe this was for a special release. I'm trying to think what this one was. It might have been the Switch release for Neptunia X Senran Kagura, because that came out later, right? I think I'm right in that. It came out later, and it had its own card release, of course. Of course, has no Senran Kagura in it whatsoever. I don't know what the marketing situation there is, why they couldn't use them for more than one card, but I don't know where this art is from, which is a good sign. If I don't know where the art's from, I'm gonna rank it a little bit higher. But also, this one's a little special. You can't really tell in the video, but it's got like engravings, like the bubbles. Is engraving right? Embroidery? They stick out. It's like, it's obvious when you're looking at the card in person. Like, there's just more detail on this card in general than the average card. So it actually looks very nice. The art by itself would not have gone it super high, because even though it's a pretty card, I don't think it's better than most of A. But because of the additional, what's the word I'm looking for? The additional effort that went forward to making the card look good, I think it is actually here on A. It looks super nice just in person. Speaking of Neptunia and Senran Kagura, we have another Ninja Wars card. This one was the May card. It is just the chibis of the goddesses when you're in the nin chat. You know what I'm talking about. It's when there's little NPCs that you can talk to. This one is not as cute as these ones, because these ones, I believe, are original art. I don't remember seeing these anywhere else. This is just reusing art. It's C. I'll rearrange that later, because in June, they released this card, which is the exact same thing as the previous card, just with the CPU candidates. Funny thing about that, the CPU candidates are only NPCs in Ninja Wars. They do not appear as playable characters, or in cutscenes for that matter. So I think this is even worse than this card, because this isn't even like, it's not even like thematic, because they're not even in the game. Barely. They have no significance in the game. So this next card was the one that was not on any site. I had to actually open this up and take a picture of it myself so I could put it on the tier maker. This one is the chosen path for the Birashana game that released. This is probably the most pretty card of the lot. I mean, this has the same like effect as the Bubble Den card I just showed. So this one looks very pretty in person. I think it also goes in A. Probably like right here in A. I'm thinking there. Now this next card is probably the weirdest card of the bunch. I actually have two of these. This one is super odd, but it is a pretty card. This one is Under the Sun. It is Noir in a bikini, underwater presumably. It's just a very pretty card. I think I've never seen this art before, so I don't know if it's reused, if it's original. I don't know. It's super nice. The weird thing about it is that I don't know how well you can tell with the camera quality, but it's number 35, July and August. Yeah, you can't read that because my camera sucks ass, but it was the card of the month for 2 months in a row. So I don't know, they just couldn't like make another card for July and or August. But yeah, you had 2 chances to get this card for 2 whole months. So that's not gonna affect it in the ranking at all. I just find that a little weird. With that being said, the card itself is gorgeous. A. In fact, no, even higher. Even higher. Even, you know, at the top of A. It's the top of A. It's a really good card. 2022 is also an interesting year for Idea Factory International, because that's when they started publishing games for physical releases that aren't like their own. Like, they started helping out other companies to get their games out physically. And this isn't the last time they did this. They're doing it this year as well. I'll go into that when we get into those cards. But the first game that they did this with was Dust Diver 2. So here's the card that released with that. I don't know what this series is. I've never heard of it prior, but it does intrigue me. And since I have the second game, I might as well try the first game as well whenever I get the chance. But the card art here is actually pretty nice. It's very stylized. Like, the game itself has a very unique style, like very recognizable style. So I think it in card form just looks very nice. This was an August card. This is number 36. This is another one that was hard to find on the website. I think this card is also an A. I think there's a lot of A's in this one. There's a lot of A's. I think it goes here. Yes. I think it goes actually higher. I think it's fine there. I think it's fine there. It's a nice card. It's a really nice card. Really nice art style. Next up is one I'm not too fond over, but it's not bad. This is Nebucation. Nebucation. This is promo art that they did for Mega Tag Mention Blonde versus Neptune, Blonde plus Neptune versus Zombies. I've seen this art a lot when that game was releasing. This is like the cover of the art book or some shit. But I mean, at least it fits the card. That gets it out of D, but not enough to get out of C. In fact, I'm gonna put it on top of C. That's how I feel, honestly. In fact, let's just rearrange this a little bit. I want this up here. That's about it. The next card is a special card that was released for Amnesia Husbando Idols. I don't know how I feel about it, honestly. It kind of has this same feel of like it's just a chibi art with a background slapped on top of it. It is the first Amnesia card, so that is a plus for it. I mean, it is nice art. I will give it that. It is very nice art. There's not a lot going on here, though. It's kind of hard to rank this one, honestly. Like like the style, like the colors they use for it make it pop a little bit, so it does look nice. How nice do I think it looks? I'm gonna sit it on B for now, and we can look at it later. I actually have two of these next cards. Oh, this one has a funny story, actually. So this is Haunted Halloween. Halloween. Get it? Halloween. It's a joke. Anyway, this is an interesting card. Obviously, it's an October card. But the interesting thing about it is that this is art from Neptunia and Friends. Now, if you don't know what Neptunia and Friends is, it's an app for Apple phones that is basically like... How do I describe it? You just talk with the Neptunia cast, and you get them gifts, you dress them up, you play mini games with them. It's like kind of a dating game, but not really. It's just kind of an app. You get to interact with the Neptunia friends and all that. The thing is, the English release of this game has not seen any updates since its release, basically. It has not been supported at all. But the Japanese version of this game continues to get updates even today. There is tons of content in that game only available in Japan. This is content only available in Japan. Because, like, I tried the English version myself. The only characters available are the four main goddesses. Not even the candidates. Just Neptune, Noir, Blonde, and Vert. This is art of Ram and Ram. Art that is not available. Like, this content is not available in English. That's what I find so funny about it. I have two of these. But how do I feel about them? It is reused art. You know what? I will give it that. It is reused art. I'm putting it in C. But I'll give it a high C because it's stylized. It looks nice. It might be reused art, but it's not reused art for us, so why does it matter? Another interesting card. This is probably the most interesting card of the lot. I do not like it a lot, though. So, 2022, Idea Factory International released a Neptunia parka hoodie. It is a replica of Neptune's parka hoodie. This thing costs like $150, I think. I have one. I will not open it, and I will not wear it. That thing is white as fuck. I live in the desert. It will get so dirty so easily. It is the first item that came with a special star card, is what they're calling it. And this is it. Does that art look familiar? because it is the same goddamn art they've been using since Rebirth 1. I will give it this. The card itself does look nice. Like, you can't tell in the video, but it's got a shine. It's, like, reflective. It's got edges. The back of it looks super nice. It's a nice card. It's glossy. It's a nice card. I do not care for the art. Assuming that they're going to release more star cards, I'm going to rank this as the art it is. Not because of how special it is. So with that, this is the worst of the worst. Like, it looks nice, but God, was it lazy. I hope the future star cards do not look like that. That just is reused art over and over again. The next two cards I'm going to show together because they kind of create a complete picture, sort of. Do they? Not really, actually. Gonna cut off a little bit. I'm still going to show them together. It is for... Oops, I hit the mic, sorry. Fairy Fencer F Refrain, what's it called? Refrain Chord. For November and December. They kind of fit the same. They kind of fit the picture. Like, it is obviously of the same picture, just cropped differently, so it doesn't really make a complete picture, but they go together, obviously. It's not the first time we've seen Fairy Fencer in these cards, but it's a momentous occasion. This was like around the same time they announced Refrain Chord for English. It was interesting because I think they released a card before they announced the English release. I might be remembering that wrong, but I think that it was the case. With that being said, though, since it is art that's clearly from the game that hasn't released yet, I'm gonna put it in C. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't feel anything looking at these cards. So I'm gonna put them together at right there in the middle of C. Now, I'm gonna put my binder away, and we're going to reorganize this whole thing. So first off, I don't think at the bottom of B, this Amnesia card deserves to be there. I think it deserves to be higher, but I just don't know how much higher. Like, I like it, but I don't like it as much as the CPU candidate cards. In fact, I do like the CPU candidate cards as a theme. Like, all of them together look super nice. I think they deserve to be higher than this. In fact, I'm going to put them like this. They're still in B, but higher in B. I think together they look very nice. I'm going to put this one down. I think this probably fits. Probably. How am I feeling it? Truth be told, I think my opinion. I don't know why I put this in A. Truth be told, I think I want to put it in B. Like, it's reused art. I was going to put it back in C. But honestly, I do like the art. And I do like the theming of the card itself. So I think I will put it... I'll put it at the bottom of B. I do like the card, just not that much. Same with Iris Heart here. I think it looks nice on the card itself. But I think this will probably go down here. Not that down, actually. Probably like here. Maybe. Maybe. My opinion might change. I think this card deserves to be higher, like maybe here. And this should go at the bottom of B. Because of those stupid borders. And I think that's going to be it. With that, that is all the cards from 2022 ranked. Of course, by the time we're recording this, it's already February. There's already been a few cards released. They've already announced what February cards look like. And in fact, I just want to say that I really like the theme that they're going on with this year. They're making cards for their legacy games. Games that they released way before they started doing this card thing. Which I think is cool. Last month was Monster Mon piece. And this month is Omega Quintet, I think. So I think that's a super cool idea. I hope they keep doing it. And I wonder how far back they'll go. With that being said, I'll see you next year. New video about Neptunia Shooter coming out too. Look forward to that.